This video is sponsored by Squarespace, the all-in-one website platform for entrepreneurs to stand out and succeed online.
Hello, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about my yarn and fiber stash. You guys wanted a yarn stash video, so here I am today. We're gonna go through all my yarn. I don't know if I'm delusional, but I think I have a reasonable amount of yarn for someone that does this as a job. I would say all of my yarn can fit in one of those big IKEA bags, like the blue bags. Definitely not in the past. I was such an overconsumer of yarn in the past that when I moved into a smaller space, I got rid of so much of my yarn. So I've definitely changed my consumption habits. I don't buy yarn that often anymore. Some of this stuff is gifted. Actually, not that much stuff is gifted at all. If there's any yarn brands that want to sponsor me, I've been wanting to knit a lot of sweaters and I just can't get myself to pull the trigger on a sweater quantity of yarn. I'm just throwing it out there. Let me know if you want to collab. And unfortunately, I am a souvenir yarn buyer because I like to support local yarn stores and be able to like recommend them to people. So I do end up buying a lot of yarn when I travel. That kind of bites me in the butt because I'll buy like one skein of something and it's never enough for like a real full project, you know what I mean? So I kind of have just like random skeins of things. So I'm gonna try to stop doing that or buy larger quantities from local yarn stores, but at the end of the day, the goal is to create more than I consume, or at least have it be equal. I'm also planning a little yarn swap in Chicago, so this is like the perfect time to do this. I can go through some of my yarn and put it in a pile for stuff to bring to that. And then one last thing, sorry if my voice sounds nasally, I've been getting over a cold, so that's probably why I sound a little sick. Without further ado, let's get into my yarn stash.
Thanks so much to Squarespace for sponsoring today's video. Squarespace is an all-in-one website building platform to help you build an online presence and grow your business. I personally use my website as a place to sell physical and digital products like my yarns and patterns, and now that I have it all set up, I can easily add new products and keep everything looking cute without needing to know any tech stuff. They have unique pre-made templates that you can customize to align with your brand's image, which is so amazing because I didn't have to start from scratch, but I also was able to customize it enough to make it feel like my own style, with the help of Squarespace's Fluid Engine drag and drop technology. Also, recently I've been hosting more in-person things and I use my site to collect RSVPs for those events, so I know how many people to expect, which is another amazing way I use my website now. Head over to squarespace.com for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/katebees for 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain.
Guys, this is not going to be an organized video at all, and I'm sorry. I'm going to try, but I just don't really know how to organize everything. I did ask on Instagram if you guys wanted to see my fiber stash as well, because I am a hand spinner. A lot of you guys said yes, but the majority of my fiber right now is like unprepped, just like basic color fibers that I need to blend up, and also undyed fiber like this because I've been meaning to do a big dyeing day. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. Again, tiny kitchen. I'm trying to like brainstorm a way that I can do it like efficiently, but I have a lot of like undyed fiber like this BFL. I also bought some Targhee fiber, and then you guys are not ready for how much undyed locks that I have. I have all of these undyed locks, so keep an eye out because I definitely will be doing a fiber drop at some point after I dye all of these. I forgot I had this, but this is bunny fur from my friend Annabelle. She has 2 bunnies and I asked her to collect some of their fur for me, and it's so soft, but I think they're lop rabbits, and the staple length of this is just so short. So if you have successfully spun any lop fur, let me know how you did it, or if you like blended it with something else. I just know that it's going to be a little bit difficult because the fibers are so short. I also think like a felting project would be cool with this. And then I just have this random like fire star. It's just like that kind of shiny nylon fun bits that you can put into bats. So now getting into more like fun stuff. I actually spun this in my last vlog, or part of it. It's merino silk blend from, I bought this at the Michigan Fiber Festival, and then I bought these 2 from the Minnesota Fiber Festival. I want to say this is from Susan's Fiber Shop. I think she's based out of Wisconsin. I think this is also merino silk, so I have like this peach color and then also this green color. I also have some undyed silk. This is mulberry silk. Oh my god, silk is so soft, you guys. And then this is tussa silk. Tussa silk is a little bit more yellow because it is a wild silk. It's not as soft as mulberry silk, but I think it's like very strong. Silk is a very, very strong fiber, so adding silk to things like adds a lot of strength to it. I have plans to dye these as well at some point. So I dyed this silk just with some regular acid dyes, but it gets like crimpy if you add any heat to silk. So it didn't really dye super evenly, but I think this would still be fun to add into like a bat or something. Also, speaking of silk, I have these 3 colors of the recycled sari silk. I am obsessed with sari silk, you guys, but it does make spinning difficult because of the varying like fiber length. Anything recycled is kind of difficult to spin, but it just adds like the coolest texture, and really a little bit goes a long way. Like I've mixed these all into several bats and I feel like I still have like so much left, and they're just so bright and fun. So I love working with sari silk. This is recycled saris from India. They use the fibers from the production of those, like the edge pieces, which is a really cool way to like reuse those kinds of fibers, you know? I also bought a bunch of these locks at the Michigan Fiber Festival. So I think I want to do a fully lock spun spin yarn with this. And then I have more like hand dyed stuff. So this is silk dyed with avocado. I think these locks were also dyed with avocado and onion skin. Like I think I mixed the dyes, and then this was fully onion skin. So, and then these 2 things are from Zablab Textiles. She sent me a little package for the secret spin, and I am obsessed. I can't remember what these were dyed with. I want to say one of them was madder, but I can't remember the other one. But it's this beautiful like rose color and like bright orange, and I just too good. And this bat is so fun. I'm like scared to spin it because it's just too good, but I think my next spin will be with this bat, and it's actually matching. I'm literally wearing the skirt right now so I could show you guys. She made it to match this skirt, and like look at how perfectly it matches. I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed with this. And then this fiber is from a farm that I've visited. It's called Stony Mountain Farms, based out of Burlington, North Carolina. It's just like this beautiful undyed chocolatey brown, and it's cool because I've actually like been around their sheep, which is really cool to be that close to the craft. So that was everything for like unspun fiber. I think next we should talk about handspun because it's definitely my favorite category of yarn and very close to my heart. So let's get into my handspun collection a little bit. I did a handspun drop in April, which some of those yarns were like so good. I'm happy that they went to new homes, but like selfishly, I wanted to keep some of them, but this is the stuff that I have kept for myself. These are some scraps. So I have this plied pink and brown, and then I have this kind of marbled color. I think this is just like undyed fiber with like a darker sheep and a lighter sheep, but I really like the way it turned out, and I use this as part of my scrunchie bag that I made. Scrunchie bags are perfect for handspun, by the way. I've seen so many people do cool scrunchie bags in handspun yarns. Then I have a few singles, and if you don't know the terminology with spinning, a single is basically just like a non-plied yarn. Like this is plied because it has 2 singles together. You can do multiple singles, but it's basically just a non-plied yarn. I tend to not spin singles that often because they are a little bit less strong than plied yarns, but I do occasionally spin singles. So this one I spun on a drop spindle. Actually, I was volunteering with the Spinning and Weaving Guild of Minnesota at a fiber festival, so I spun this on a drop spindle while I was there. I haven't processed it yet. I think all of these I haven't processed, which just means like soaking them and washing them and then hanging them to dry weighted. That's why there's still a little bit of spin in these. But so I have this one. I think I blended this fiber too, I can't remember. And then I have this pink one that has like some green and blue in it. This one I actually spun in my last vlog. I spun 2 singles with an intent to ply them, but I spun them the wrong way. You're supposed to spin them the same way to be able to ply them together, but I spun them the wrong way. So this is just gonna exist as a single right now, but I kind of like it as a single. Like I think it looks really good actually. And then this yarn, it's a silk merino blend. It's a little bit overspun because this was my first spin back from like a long spinning hiatus, but it's fun. It's got some tweed elements, so I think I'll be ready to knit something with this. So this was one of the singles. This was the other single, but I plied it with another single that I spun. Very nice. I spun this in my last vlog if you want to watch that process. I also have this fun like pink tweed yarn. So this is mostly like a pink base, but you can see like the little tweed elements, and that's from that sari silk that I showed you guys earlier. This is just like a really basic spin. It's pretty much just green. This I called the Lorax yarn because it looks like the Lorax. Orange and yellow applied together. Very bright and sunny. This I also haven't washed yet, but this was from my last vlog as well. I was spinning yarn that I wanted to make for a giveaway, but I think what I want to do now is do like a beanie giveaway, like a hand spun beanie giveaway. So instead of giving away yarn, I would give away a hat with yarn that I spun, because then more people can enter, fiber artists, but other like people that maybe don't knit or crochet. That was kind of my idea. Let me know if you think that's dumb. Yeah, I spun this in my last video. Also, this bat I got from my boyfriend's mom for Christmas, and she just did such a good job. Like, the colors are so pretty together, and they plied like super nicely. And then I have this yarn. So this I spun with yarn that I bought at the farmer's market. Again, that's Stony Mountain Farms. If you guys remember, I don't know if you guys watched this video, but I went to a shearing event. So on their farm, they have a big shearing event because it's like the introduction to spring for farmers. Historically, they gather for this sheep shearing ceremony. Apparently the guy that was doing the sheep shearing was like a professional. Like, he travels all the way down the East Coast and shears, and he doesn't use the clippers, which was really cool to see because there's not that many people that shear with shears, like scissors, anymore. And just to like see how chill the animals were, because I think the buzzing maybe scares the animals from like the electric razors, but they were just so chill, and like it was really cool to watch. And this dude had like the craziest flexibility for his age. But anyways, that's where this fiber's from, that farm. Again, love being that close to the craft. Like literally seeing the sheep that your wool is from is so cool. And then we can't talk about handspun without talking about a wild offering. If you're a hand spinner, you probably know who this is, but Raina is like the most beautiful fiber artist ever. She has a farm and it's literally goals, but she also sells the most beautiful bats. So I feel like her fibers specifically are super recognizable with all the textures and her kind of color palette, and these two yarns are from her bats. This one, I actually won her giveaway, which was crazy because I don't win things that often, but I was like, this is the best thing ever. And this one I bought on like a Black Friday sale that she did last year, and she's been grinding because she's been posting a lot of bats, so I might have to snag one at some point soon. So obsessed. These are the ones that I spun in my spinning video as well. And then my favorite hand spun is this, and I actually didn't spin this. This was spun by Zablab Textiles, and she sent this in her little care package, but it is so beautiful. I think I'm gonna make a beanie. If it's not enough, I honestly need like a nice headband. Like, I like wearing headbands in the winter, so maybe I'll make a headband out of it, and I think that'd be really cute. But also a beanie would be fine, but I've just like been needing a headband, so I think like a nice chunky headband with this yarn would be super nice. Shout out to Izzy because this is so amazing. Like, look at all of these colors. And this was also inspired by a sweater that I made 2 years ago now, I think. This Nora yarn that I had. She just nailed it with the colors. Just mentioning a few incredible fiber artists because there's so much talent in the fiber community. People just honestly amaze me all the time. So that was all of my hand spun. Some of that might be up on my website at some point. Some people ask me like, do you have a plan on what you're gonna make with the yarn that you spin? And I've always said spinning is like a separate craft to me than knitting. Like, of course I enjoy using my hand spun yarns, but for the most part I see the yarn as the final product rather than what I'm gonna make with the yarn, which is why I enjoy selling the yarn for other people to make things with, because then it just sits there for me to admire from afar. The rest of what I have is commercial yarns, which I feel like I need help with the most. So let me know if you guys have any ideas for these projects. I would love to hear what you guys think. Honestly, a lot of this stuff is like leftover from other projects. This is gonna be like the least organized part of this video because I'm just gonna kind of grab from this pile here. First, I'll show you just a few hand-dyed things as well. So this I dyed with onion skins, this I dyed with avocados, and then this I did a cool bundle dye situation, and I actually really like the way that this turned out. I knit like just a little swatch with it. I don't know where the swatch is, but... And then I have this purple yarn that I hand dyed. I love this shade of purple. I think I wrote down the depth of shade or whatever. It's just such a nice like periwinkle purple color. I also have a few more skeins of yarn that I'm intending to dye. This is what I've been hoarding the most, is this like lace weight fluffy type of yarns. I bought so much of this when I first started knitting for some reason and then just haven't used it, and I've been hoarding it like thinking I'm going to use it, but I just haven't yet. The good thing is I honestly think this is a nice palette for like a scrap sweater. Like honestly, these colors all look good together. So I think I'm gonna make a scrap sweater and finally use up all of this because it's just been sitting here. So one of my favorite yarns to use is the Lang Surrey alpaca yarn. It's actually the yarn that I used for the Groove Warmers pattern that I have out, mostly because the color collection is just so good. Like the colors are just so bright and fun to work with and pair up with each other. Like look at that. And then this is all Surrey Stratus by Plymouth Yarns. I've literally had this yarn since 2022. I don't know why I still have it if I haven't used it yet. I think I used one of them because I want to say I had 4. It's time. It's time. I need to use this. This is the Barocco Aerial yarn. I must have used it for something small because it's partially used, but this is the Hobie Alpaca Breeze. And then the Hobie Diablo. I think the difference is this is mohair and this is alpaca. If I'm being honest, I think I prefer alpaca more than mohair. I don't know if that's a crazy take, but... And then these are left over from my Groove Warmers as well. This is the Wool and the Gang Take Care mohair. This is a thicker weight mohair, as you can see. Do you see the difference? So that's all my like fuzzy yarn. I think I could do like a full sweater with this amount. I guess as a side note, this is literally attached to my whip right now, but I am using these 2 yarns together for this striped. It's the Breezy Long Sleeve by Kiss Kiss Rhinestones. This is the Sunday Sandness Garn yarn, and then the Knitting for Olive. I love Knitting for Olive. Now I guess I'll show you guys cotton because I love this brand, Queensland Collection Coastal Cotton. I'm obsessed with it, so I bought this color. I love this color, this like neon yellow for some reason. I just am always so drawn to it, and it goes well with so many other colors. It's kind of like a neutral in my head where it goes well with so many other colors. Like it really looks good with any color, like genuinely. Like, am I crazy for thinking this is a neutral? But anyways, I really like this yarn, and I bought this much because I actually was gonna make another one of those crochet ponchos that I make, which, by the way, I started writing the pattern for that, but I think I'm gonna do all of the testing and stuff for that in the spring and summer because it's not really that season anymore, but just know it's in the works still. So I bought these 3, and then I have some red from the other crochet poncho that I made, and then I also have it in this blush pink color because I made like a baby cardigan that was so cute, so I just have leftover yarn from that. This yarn I bought at the Waist Shed and I made a skirt with, but I have 1 skein of it left. Adrienne Vittadini Felicia yarn. I really like fibers like this where it's kind of like a mixed ply, not quite a spiral ply, but like just adds a little bit more texture. And then the last bit of cotton that I have is this Hobie cotton 6/8. Just don't know what to make with it. I don't know why, but it's been sitting in my stash for a while. This was actually gifted from Hobie, so I think I'm just gonna give it away because for some reason I just have had it, but I haven't had any ideas for it. But it's like a decent quantity. I think maybe I just don't wear this color that often, so I'm like kind of stuck in what to make with it. I definitely will be bringing this to the swap, but I might just give it away. Also from Hobie is this Portobello yarn. I have used this for a few projects. I actually really like this yarn. I've made a bonnet from it. It's just a nice, what do they call this type of yarn where they like put a tube in it and blow it up? That sounded crazy. Maybe I'll bring this to the meetup as well. Okay, we'll get a few scrappy things out of the way and then we'll finish with like full skeins. Here are all my Noro scraps. This is the Noro Madara, which I am obsessed with this yarn. It's such a good weight of yarn, and my friend Zoe just made a sweater with the Noro Madara yarn in like a gray tweed. I'm obsessed with it. She's inspired me. I really want to make the same sweater in literally the same yarn. Not the same color, but like the same vibe because it looks so good, you guys. This is also Noro. It's the Silk Garden Solo yarn. I made a full pair of socks with this and I still have this much left. It definitely goes a long way for like 1 skein. Like I literally only had 1 skein of this. This yarn is what I made my mom's Christmas gift out of last year. I made a Sophie hood for her. And then I also made a pair of mittens recently with the same yarn. So I really like this yarn. It's the West Yorkshire Spinners, the Croft yarn. I didn't buy the right amount of yarn, and then the store that I bought it from didn't have any left, so I had to find somewhere to order it online. And I just had like bad luck, like canceling orders, and I was just like, I'm just gonna order like 3 more of these, so just in case something happens, I have enough. So I ordered 3 extra skeins. I think I had 5 skeins total of this yarn. That was kind of my fiasco with it, but I love this yarn. It's so beautifully dyed and it just looks really good knit up. This is Barocco DK yarn that I bought for the micro shorts that I made. I have this much left over, so I'll probably bring this to the meetup. This is a really nice red though, a nice cool toned red. These are also some scraps. This is Cascade 220 in this, again, neutral color. Not a neutral at all, it just looks good with everything. Maybe I'll do like a striping situation. I feel like that would look really good together. I got a little bit of this Chunky Lamb's Pride I made an ear flap hat with, and then again with this like blown yarn. This is the Mochi yarn by Barocco. This like super airy light yarn and it's so beautiful. I think I'm gonna bring this to the yarn swap because I've had it forever and I don't know what to do with it. I think someone else might have a better shot with this. Like, I think I literally bought this in like 2022. This is Ella Rae Eco Tweed, one of my favorite yarns, to be honest. I made a pair of socks with this yarn. Going along with that, I actually found a skein of Ella Rae Eco Tweed at the Waist Shed, which is like a creative reuse center. I got this for $7, so I'm gonna make another pair of socks because I really enjoyed making my socks with this yarn, so I think I'm just gonna make another pair with this. Maybe I could make a little stripey situation. I guess this is marking the transition into the full skein territory. I have this Dovestone Natural Aran, which I've never heard of Dovestone before, but it seems like a pretty luxury yarn. It's 50% BFL, 25% Wensleydale long wool, and 25% Masham. But it seems like a pretty like luxury yarn, and I bought these for like $12 each because they were at the Waist Shed as well. So I have these two. I have a few yarns from Michaels. I bought these for that sailor hat that I made in my Making My Fall Wardrobe video, and these colors just look really nice together. The Woolies yarn, I lived off the Woolies yarn when I first started knitting and crocheting before I kind of became more of a yarn snob. I'm not that much of a yarn snob, but I really used a lot of this yarn, and I do think this is a good yarn for beginners who maybe don't want to spend so much on yarn in the beginning. I think this is a good option. Going along with blends, I have these two yarns that my boyfriend actually bought for me when he was in Peru. The whole time he was in Peru, he was sending me pictures of all the fibers there, and I was like, that's so nice. He doesn't really know anything about like fiber content and stuff, so he just bought something he thought I would like. And honestly, I'm very impressed with this being a blend. Like, it is like a very soft yarn. I also am like very sensitive to wool, so I think this could be a really good thing for like a headband or like a hat because it wouldn't be as like itchy on my forehead. Oh my god, you know, like when you're wearing a hat all day and you just like have to just like itch your head. That's what happens when I wear wool hats a lot of the time, so I think this is like soft enough where it wouldn't bother my forehead skin. These two yarns were actually a gift from my mom. They're pretty like luxurious fibers, I think. 50% merino, 25% alpaca, 20% mohair, and 5% mulberry silk. And it's the brand Mineville wool. She bought these for me when she was in Canada. They're just really nice yarns and I don't know what to do with them, but I think I will be keeping them. What do you guys think for these? Like, what would you make with this amount of yarn? Like, maybe together they could be cute, like a nice light striping. I just haven't had any ideas for them, so. And then these yarns I bought really recently. I wanted to make like a little scarf or something, so that's next on my project list. I'm working on a sweater right now, so that's been taking up most of my time, so I haven't had a chance to start this yet. I have two skeins of this 220 superwash. I like overly bought yarn for the sweater that I was making. It was the sweater that I knit for the MLB postseason sweater. I ended up having like 2 full skeins left, which is crazy. I think this is enough to make like maybe a baby tee or something would be cute with this. This is the Heritage Silk yarn by Cascade. I want to make another Anna top with this, so I do have an idea for this yarn. I just haven't casted that on yet because it's now more of like a, I don't know, I feel like it's maybe not in season quite yet. I've just been wanting to work on like chunkier sweaters, so this might be like a better spring project, so I'm gonna keep this for now. And then this mystery yarn I've had for a while, but it's a nice pink color and it's like a DK weight. I just maybe need to stripe it with something because I only have one of these and I'm not going to be able to find another one. Honestly, these colors look kind of cute together. And then I have all of this yarn from Biscotte Yarns. So this is 100% Peruvian Highland untreated wool, and it's the Luis Robert collection, marbled reddish pink color. I love how deep the colors are on this one. I can't remember what this one is called because I don't know where the label is, but it's just this beautiful cobalt blue color. Like, the depth of shade is so dark, but I love this yarn, and I think I'm gonna make another ear flap hat with this yarn. That's why I had it wound up. And then this yarn is so nice. I think it's a 50-50 silk merino blend, and it's just so soft and smooth and shiny. It's beautiful. A lot of their yarns are like Harry Potter themed, so I think this was like the Albus yarn, I want to say, but it's just like has the most beautiful shine and finish on it. I don't know what to do with this though. What would you do with something that was like very silky and shiny? And then I have 2 of these Lamb's Pride. I bought this from the thrift store, but I love Lamb's Pride, another brand that I really like, and it's just like the super chunky, bulky yarn. So this will be a good winter yarn to have. This yarn is gorgeous. It's the Monostil Uruguay Wool Classica. It has the most beautiful texture and color to it, but I don't know what to do with it because I only have 1 skein of it. Honestly, this could be kind of cute together, like gray and orange. And then I have this yarn, which is so similar to this one. This one I bought from the Wayshed. It's a little bit lighter and it has a little bit more like marbling, but she's gorgeous. It's Kramer Yarns Mock Chunky. I've never heard of this yarn. I have never seen it at a yarn store or anything, but I feel like that's fun. Like when I find brands at the thrift store that I've never heard of, I feel like it's a good way to expose myself to more yarn brands. This is a shameless souvenir yarn. I bought this from the Brooklyn General Store in New York. It's the Peace Fleece yarn. This is just a gorgeous yarn. It's very rustic and it's like, I could just tell it might be a little bit itchy. So, and then last but not least, I bought this Koigu yarn. After doing a very quick like search on this brand, like I am going to be doing some research on it because they have a farm in Ontario and like their fibers are so beautiful, which is why I saved this for last, but it's this brand Koigu, and apparently the word is actually Estonian. It kind of sounds like it would be Japanese, but it is Estonian. Just look at how gorgeous this is. It's mohair locks with a little bit of nylon. I'm obsessed. And with this yarn, I really want to make a pair of mittens and have this be like the cuff of the mittens or like gloves of some sort. I think that would be so cute. That was my idea for this and I'm like really excited to do that project. So here is all the yarn that I have. But that is pretty much all of my yarn, and I know it's a lot. Again, I don't think this is normal for like an average consumer, but since this is my job, I tend to have more supplies, just as a casual painter would have less paints than a painter that does that for their job. I don't know. Does that make sense? I don't want this to be like an example of like the average consumer because it's not, and I want to be realistic about that. Again, a lot of my hand spun stuff I plan on selling at some point. That also means I have to have extra supplies for making the yarns. I think it's fun to show kind of the yarns that I have and the colors that I'm gravitating towards right now. I also think it's a cool way to learn about other yarn brands. I feel like I'm learning about other yarn brands from so many other creators online. It's a cool way to give exposure to more brands. So yeah, please let me know what your favorite yarn was maybe from this video, or if you have any ideas for stuff that I can make with this yarn. I am going to put a little bag together to bring to the yarn swap next week, and maybe I can find some new yarns. If not, I'm probably just going to give my yarn away because I don't need it. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a like, make sure you subscribe, or comment down below any ideas you might have for some of these yarns. Thanks for letting me yap about yarn for so long. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.